Hello, my name is Kylie Zarecki, and I am a third-year student majoring in health promotion within the College of Public Health. I am currently a student intern for the UGA Dining Services. With COVID-19, UGA has adjusted and implemented new safety protocols throughout campus. UGA Dining Services is offering to-go meals this year, giving students the opportunity to take their meal with them or eat socially distanced in their own space. If you plan on taking your meal to go, it is important to be informed about how to select your meal based on your schedule, as well as properly storing and microwaving your leftovers if you don't plan to eat them right away. This presentation will go over how to properly store and microwave your leftovers. In order to understand why it is important to store and microwave your leftovers properly, we must go over some basic microbiology. Pathogens are microorganisms that can be bacteria, viruses, fungi, or prions. Some of these pathogens can cause human illness. They can grow well in some food and be carried in our bodies and on our hands. They can only be seen under a microscope and cannot be sensed through taste or smell. Some pathogens are bacteria, which are living single-celled organisms that can be carried by food, water, humans, and insects. They can reproduce rapidly, and some types of bacteria can cause food spoilage, and others can cause illness. There are around 48 million cases of foodborne illnesses reported in the United States each year. Of these 48 million cases, there were 138,000 hospitalizations and 3,000 deaths reported. Pathogenic bacteria, if allowed to reach unsafe levels, could potentially cause severe illness. To avoid foodborne illnesses, eat or refrigerate your food within 2 hours at room temperature, or 1 hour if the environment is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Remember, time and temperature are the most important factors that control bacteria growth. Time and temperature can be controlled by you. If unsure of the time or temperature the food was left out in, it is important to follow the saying, when in doubt, throw it out. Since UGA Dining Services has started offering to-go meals, you should pick foods at the dining commons based on your schedule to avoid food not being eaten within 2 hours at room temperature, or 1 hour if the environment is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Take a look at the foods listed. The foods that are listed are non-perishable, which means that they can hang out in your backpack for the day while you are going to classes, studying, and walking around campus. Now look at the food listed on this slide. It is important to make sure that if you get a meal that contains the ingredients listed, you eat or refrigerate it within at least 2 hours. If the environment you are in is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or above, then make sure to eat or refrigerate the food within 1 hour. If you plan on eating food later, it is important to put it in the refrigerator within the 2-hour period after receiving it. Make sure that your refrigerator is set to 40 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent bacteria from growing, and that the leftovers are stored in a covered container. Eat leftovers from the dining commons within 2 days. no matter what it is. Label your leftover containers and make a note of the date so you know exactly how many days it has been in the refrigerator. It is important for you to know what containers you can store and reheat your food in. Containers that are marked microwave safe will not leach any harmful chemical residues into the food. It is safe to reheat your food in the paper containers or reusable green plastic containers provided at the dining commons. If you aren't sure what other containers are safe to reheat your leftovers in, the best options are glass and ceramic dishes. Plastic containers that are labeled microwave safe have been tested and approved by the FDA. It is okay to reheat foods on paper plates, towels, and napkins, preferably on paper products without designs or prints on the surface that will touch the food. It is safe to reheat food on wax paper and parchment paper. It is important that if you are using plastic wrap, it is only used to cover part of the container. If you reheat food with plastic wrap touching it, then the plastic may melt onto the food. Never reheat leftovers in containers that stored commercial food, for example, cottage cheese and yogurt containers. Also, do not microwave foods in brown paper bags, metal pans, and food wrapped in aluminum foil. You can't microwave food in foam insulated cups, bowls, plates, or trays. To make sure that the heat reaches the center of the food, spread out the food in the container. If applicable, stir the food to ensure even reheating. Covering the dish with a lid or plastic wrap and pulling back a side will allow the moist heat that is created destroy bacteria and ensure even reheating. Make sure that the middle of the leftovers reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If it does not reach the temperature, then you can always heat it for a little longer and measure the temperature again. Using a food thermometer to measure the temperature of the center of the food is the most accurate way to know that the food is ready to eat. There are many types of food thermometers. Some have the temperature digitally, while others are displayed on a meter. Do not remove the thermometer from the center of the food until the finalized temperature is indicated. If removed before this happens, the temperature measured may not be accurate. Make sure to retake temperature if this happens or after reheating the food if it did not reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit initially. It is important to keep heating the food until the center of the food reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Here are the steps to microwaving your food. First, put leftovers in the microwave-safe container. Second, make sure that the top is vented by pulling back the plastic wrap or lid. Next, set heating time and stir halfway through. Lastly, let food stand for a few minutes and then check the internal temperature of the food. Make sure the food thermometer indicates the finalized temperature as 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or the UGA Food Safety Coordinator.